we had a half an hour because it's a teaser for you coming on the 27th. But you know what? Heck, I can certainly go to 10 o'clock.
Okay, because I have a few things I wanted to talk about. I wrote them down. I wanted to talk about a woman in Massachusetts, Nina Frost. She's going to be having a protest this Saturday in Massachusetts about chemtrails. I wanted to talk about Northern Command. I wanted to talk about Renonymous, the courtroom, birth certificates, the solution to ending poverty. Also, Donald Trump. I called the White House this week and spoke to someone there who's attempting to get a message to Donald Trump for me about this solution to end poverty. Because if he really wants to end poverty, and he's really looking to, make the world a better place, then I have the solution, and I'm going to discuss that solution. I wanted to talk about also what it means to be a living soul, and I need your guests to get a paper and a pen, because I'm going to be giving some advice and some steps they can take. I'm going to talk about a meeting I had with a lot of people at a local establishment here the other night, and we are organizing a movement to start being recognized as living souls. I'm going to talk about the police a little bit, the national anthem and the flag, because that's been a huge issue, and people need to understand really what the national anthem and the flag is. And then maybe about Mark Levin. I was having an argument today with my mother because she likes Mark Levin. And she was like, I really like Mark Levin. And I said, let me tell you something. If I called up Mark Levin to get on his show, and I started asking him, well, Mark, do you know that the United States of America is a corporation that has invaded the United States via Northern Command? My mom said, yeah, you're right. He'd probably hang up on you. Of course, because he's part of the mass psychological operations program that the mass media is running on all of the living souls who they've converted to citizens. And so, anyway, we always have to agree to disagree. Me and my mom, she's a hardcore Trump fan and hoorah US of A and blah, blah, blah. So might get to that, but
okay.
It depends on how much time we have.
Well,
we always seem to run out of time.
Yeah, we do. But before we get into it, now I know everybody who I can blame from the problem with the first show we had tonight and not being able to call you on your phone number. It's what we're going to talk about. But you know what? The word has to get out there. And it could have been also when you were posting. I saw what you posted today on Facebook. So, these secret people in the black, they probably are listening to my show now probably from the first time I had you on. Not just you. I've had an ex-CIA agent on my show here too recently, a couple months back. So I'm probably on some type of list where they kind of monitor, what I post and what I say. So, hey, I didn't do it. They did it.
Well, I intentionally gathered up my 5,000 Facebook fans on both of I have 2 Facebook accounts, and I had about 5 of them, and Facebook shut down 3 of them because, they just, I guess they were under different names, like my production company name, my Ronald show name, and I was building up an audience of 25,000 people and getting them to share and spread the information. So I've got it down now to 2 accounts, and I have 5,000 fans on one and a couple thousand on another, and I'm going in through and I'm removing the fake accounts of people that don't exist because I figured that's, it's a platform to get information out there, and I'm really into spreading a solution. And I'm not, and I know we've talked about this before, and my goal is to get people to take real steps that they can take to start giving themselves back their freedom and removing themselves from the jurisdiction of this corporation that is posing as a government. And a lot of your listeners probably haven't heard any of the stuff that I'm going to say, and it's hard to wrap your mind around it. When I started getting into this information and this truth, it took me about 2 or 3 years to reprogram myself to get this cognitive map of the way things are really laid out and what the real situation is, that we are literally enslaved financially, physically, mentally, psychologically, and digitally, honestly. And so I definitely want to get into that.
Well,
I know we had discussed a couple of topics I was going to go into. What did you want to get into
Well,
first?
I will go into whatever you want. I mean, I do feel that we are brainwashed, or they're trying to brainwash us every single day. I mean, even Facebook, everything. We're being brainwashed. People don't know what reality is.
No, and reality is so much different than what they really understand. I am in the middle of writing a new book called Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, How to Be a Living Soul, because we are living souls. We are not citizens, persons, individuals, residents, domiciled, and taxpayers. Those 6 terms are terms, and you guys, your audience, you should write those terms down. I want you to write it down and say it out loud. Say, I am a living soul. I am not a citizen, person, individual, resident, domiciled, and taxpayer. Those 6 terms are slave titles that put you unintentionally and with your consent under the jurisdiction of a corporation that is pretending to be a government, and the word government literally translates to control mind. And I say this every day, and I don't get tired of hearing myself say it, and I probably said it to you before. But the people, you guys, you living souls out there, I'm sorry I called you people, because, look, see, I'm still even getting over my own programming and brainwashing. Because there's words of art being used against us by the judicial system, the legal system, the court system, and everybody is speaking in either a slang English or a formal English. But the real English is legal English, and that is the form of English that lawyers, judges, and politicians, and even Trump is using. You can listen to his speeches, and you can hear that he knows precisely, legally, in legal English, what he is saying. Now, the citizens who are listening and watching him on television and on the radio, they just hear citizen, and they're proud to be a citizen, and yay, U.S. of A. But the United States of America, the U.S. of A., is a corporation, and it's posing as a government. And it's incorporated in Washington, the District of Columbia, which is a district. It's not even a state. They can't even vote there. And they are stealing Federal Reserve notes from you at gunpoint. And these Federal Reserve notes, it's a note because it's a promissory note. It's not even money. In legal English, money is gold and silver. And I was talking to, like I said at the top of the show, I was talking to Nina Frost on Facebook. She had messaged me, and she was saying, man, I really wish you could come to Massachusetts this Saturday and participate in this protest that they're organizing for chemtrails, because she says there's a chemtrail program, and they've just been blasting Massachusetts in the skies with chemtrails for the entire summer. And I told her, I go, look, it's not just in Massachusetts. It's here in Florida. I'm in Florida right now. I was in Denver last year. I was in Georgia the year before that. I was in Los Angeles a few years before that. And everywhere I've been for the past few years, as long as, maybe the last 5 or 6 years, I look up in the sky and I see these chemtrails are just blasting the skies. And it's a multi-tiered program. I think there's several reasons.
Now, I have been talking to a guy who wants to come on my show. He is a former NASA scientist. Okay, 20 plus years. Now, he wants to come on my show. I'm still not sure yet. I probably will. It'll be probably the first week of September. What he's claiming...
Well, you know what your primary question for him is, right? Where is the video evidence of the Earth spinning on its axis in space?
Well, I didn't...
Mary was just talking about the wobble of the Earth, but there's no proof where it's even spinning, Gary.
I know.
Really, there is no proof.
But here's what I asked him. And this is what he was going to talk about. The chemtrails, okay, that was going on, getting sprayed, right? Mm-hmm. He said it's being sprayed to actually cause where we can't actually see what's going out from Earth out in space. And
I wouldn't be surprised if it's some type of nanotechnology that's using maybe nano cameras or a coverage,
he called it
like a camouflage.
Diffusion. That's exactly what he used. And what he's saying is that Planet X does exist, that in Antarctica, and if you go to Antarctica, and he was talking about where, and I don't want to say too much because, if I have him on the show, I want, to shock the people, not me doing it.
Yeah.
But he said that they can go in Antarctica, which they do have big, huge telescopes watching it right now. They can see Planet X heading towards our planet. And that's why they've been actually spraying all this stuff the last few years to actually kind of like filter out, where even with the high-powered telescopes, it just filters out enough where you can't really see what's going on.
Yeah, I've been following that story also, and I don't know what to believe, because there's a big part of me that believes that we're on a flat plane in an analog computer simulation, a digital holograph reality. And then there's another part of me that thinks, well, okay, what if I'm wrong and we are on this spinning globe and this Nibiru is coming at us and it really is going to, wreak hell on Earth and drop asteroids, and it's also possibly part of a, colonized planet where the Anunnaki are going to come in and take over, and there's going to be another maybe DNA upgrade, or number 3 of that might be that is a cover story to make people believe that there's a Nibiru, and then there's going to be a staged alien invasion. So you really got 3 choices. We're on a flat and infinite plane, and that's just a cover story. We're on a spinning globe, and it's real. Or it's just a cover story to make us think we're on a spinning globe, and they're going to stage an alien invasion. I don't know. Maybe it's.
My feeling is they won't have to stage it, because you know what? I get so annoyed when I talk to people out there that say we're the only life. Oh, period. Yeah. We are the only humans or humanoid out there. Oh, come on, okay? I mean, we can't be. And all these people will say, well, I've been abducted, and they're actually pretty friendly. I disagree with that too. I think something is coming down the roadway, and we're going to eventually find out. It might not be something we're going to be happy with. And I really think that all these things that's going on worldwide for the last 20 years is all being manipulated for one reason only, to keep our attention on to other things, not onto, the other thing.
Up in the skies.
Yeah. I mean, even like North Korea, all of a sudden now, we're in communications with North Korea, Cuba back a few years ago. It's just a lot of strange things that keep, people from, trying to find out more of other things that could maybe coming down the vine. And that is what scares me. We could be, if you really look at it, there's a scientist, it did an article that we are a simulation, because everything about us is nothing but a computer binary code. But
of course.
But if
we are light.
But if we are a computer simulation, that tells me maybe we're on a laptop, right, of some alien's daughter or a kid, and he's playing a game and manipulating all of us. I don't know.
And maybe he's like, hey, fellas, you guys, maybe he's got 7 billion friends, and he said, look, you guys, I got this cool game I invented. All you got to do is sit in that chair over there. I got 7 billion chairs. I'll hook you up, and you can jump in, and you can just take part in this crazy, wacky game called Earth Good versus Evil. And we jump in there, and I'm here, and you're here, and I'm playing my part in the game, and you're playing your part in the game, and it's this exciting dopamine rush, and I'm eating chocolate cake, and I'm drinking beer, and sometimes
chocolate
I'm fasting.
Wait a minute.
Doing this,
wait a minute. Chocolate cake and beer?
Well, not at the same time.
No, but, I hope not. I hope not. I certainly don't think that would be a good combination.
No, I would probably drink the beer first, get really wasted, and then, like around 2:00 in the morning, raid the refrigerator, have like maybe a steak and then some chocolate cake.
Well,
I think that'd be the order: beer, steak, cake.
Well, I will tell you this. I'm on a diet. I've been doing real good at losing weight. But the other night, I was